Hello fellow humans! It is so good to see you again. Stella's at the door. It's hard life, Stella. So today, before we get into today's video, I just thought I'd go through a few things because I've had quite a lot of new subscribers recently. So before we get into that amazing meal prep, and there's some delicious dishes as usual, there's some great pies, I'll tell you that. Before we get into that meal prep, I just wanted to tell you a little bit about myself. Okay, so forever interrupted in this house. My boy just came in. My name is Amy and I am a human. I don't know about you guys. I hope we're all fellow humans. Only for humans this channel, but we do like a cute dog. I live in the north of England. You can probably tell with my accent maybe. I don't sound as well spoken maybe as some people down south. They have beautiful accents. I was once in a play and I had to have a beautiful Queen's English accent, so I talked like this and it was beautiful, and really I should talk like this all the time. However, I do talk like this. I do lots of different sorts of vlogs really. I'm a very small channel and I just do this for fun. I upload every Friday, so you get a bit of a weekend fix. Have me on in the background as you're going about your weekend things. And I am on a weight loss journey on Weight Watchers. The Weight Watchers videos I've put up have done really well, so I make quite a few of those. I have some family vlogs. We are doing up a barn, so we are renovating that at the moment, so I do some vlogs about that. I do some get ready with me videos as well, so and meal prep because I like to cook. So if any of that is of interest, click on the videos. I also, if anybody's in the UK into the TV series Happy Valley, I do have a vlog where Happy Valley was filmed. That area, you can see that on my vlog in Hebden Bridge vlog. You can click on that one. It is the same place as where they filmed Happy Valley. That's a little bit about me, and I'm so pleased you're watching. And also, just wanted to mention as well, I follow a few people online, but one of the people that I do follow, she knows who she is because she has mentioned me on her channel as well. And it is Dee from Dish with Dee. Now, she's awesome, isn't she? I don't know if you've watched her, but if you haven't, please do watch her. I'll link her channel below. She smashes out content like no one else. She is so involved and such a support for her community. She's a Weight Watchers YouTuber. So if that is why you're watching me, I'm quite new to Weight Watchers and I've only just started and I haven't got that much weight to lose, but Dee has been doing this a long time. She's at maintenance. She's really good. You can ask her a question. She always gets back to you. If you want to know anything, she's a good person to go to. She is a font of knowledge. If she doesn't know the answer, she'll point you in the right direction. She won't have you on and say, oh, I know answer, I'll tell you. No, she wouldn't do that. She would point you in the right direction, but she does know a lot of things. So she's been doing it a long time. Like I say, she's at maintenance. I think she's just above maintenance and she's great. And when I heard myself being mentioned on her channel, I was starstruck. So do go and have a look at Dee. Her channel's linked down below if you haven't already. I know quite a lot of you probably already watch her. And thank you all for all your support, and we will get into the meals now because that's what you're here for. You're not here to see me. Maybe you're here to see Stella, I can understand that. But let's crack on, eh? Hey, it's time for Dish with Dee. That's me. Thanks for clicking on this video and making yourself a priority. Not a good impression. If anything, now you need to go and watch her channel to see if that impression was the worst impression you've ever heard in your life. Hello, 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 fellow humans. I'm happy to see you again. I hope you're all having a good week. Some of the stuff that I'm making, I'm not going to be doing today. I'm going to end up doing tomorrow, but I'm just going to fill you in on what I'm going to make. Because I'm running out of time. I thought I'd do it this morning. I got everything out, and then I thought I've got an hour before I'm taking the boys to like an inflatable park. Have you ever been to one of those? Bouncy castles, just bouncy castles and ball pits. Even when my children are completely fully grown, and they're getting to that stage now, I have a 14-year-old and a 12-year-old. Even when they are 22, I'm still going to want to go to these inflatable parks and trampoline parks. I'm just gonna have to go on my own, or take a friend's child, be that creepy person who says, can I take your child to the cinema, because I like children's films, and to inflatable parks and trampoline parks. I love trampoline parks. I love trampolining when I was a kid. So we're leaving for there in an hour, and I just thought I'm not going to have time to make. Now I'll tell you what I'm making. A soup and 2 pies this week. I'm going to go in for the pies. I have been struggling last week. I just hormonal, I think. I lost last week, I lost £0.5 pound, but I am surprised. I've just not been in the frame of mind for eating nice, nutritious, healthy foods. So I tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna incorporate a little bit of pie-ness into and I won't feel like I'm missing out, and I'm also keeping my points a lot lower than I would if I went to the pub and got pie and chips. I am making a chicken and mushroom pie, a cheese and potato and onion pie, and I'm going to make a sweet potato and coconut soup, which I thought I can have for my lunches. That's what we're making this weekend. Okay, gorgeous ladies and gents. I am beginning, this is the day later now, I am beginning the meal prep. So I introduced it yesterday, very slow this weekend. I introduced it yesterday, but I'm actually doing it today. Now, I'm quite new to Weight Watchers. I'd say I'm 3 months in, aren't I now? And I said yesterday I was going to do a sweet potato and coconut soup. When I tried to point that soup up, and I was using light coconut milk, it came to about 9 points. There is no way that I'm spending 9 points on a soup. So that is now going to be substituted for, I didn't make it, I just pointed it, I just created the recipe before I started. So I'm going to substitute that now for a spicy sweet potato stew. And I think it's actually going to be more filling anyway. We're going down that route. So little amendment today, but I'll show you the pies and the stew. So we're starting here with probably one of my favourites. It is a cheese pie. Now I usually make cheese pie and it's about, I bet it's over 100 points, my usual cheese pie. So we've gone for a Weight Watchers friendly one this time, and I've peeled 3 potatoes and I am chopping those, and I'm going to boil those until they are nice and fluffy and tender and not easily mashable. Then I've got 1 onion, and I roughly chop this, and I then pop this, oh, this is Laurie. Hi Laurie, he was getting a piece of toast for his breakfast. I caramelised the onions in a pan, so they were in there for about 15 minutes. At one point I did have to add, I put fry light in, and I did have to add a little bit of water because they were on for so long, but they ended up really nice, caramelised and brown. I mashed the potatoes and I popped those in a bowl until for later. As you can see, I'm doing the onions now. Save on the washing up. I used the same pan that I used for the potatoes for the onions and sweated those down. Once they were all nice and tasty, I added 100 grams of half-fat cheddar, the potatoes, most of an whisked egg, and a teaspoon, heaped teaspoon of Dijon mustard, and some garlic granules. Give that a good stir, and that is the filling for our pie. I made 2 individual pies because I thought it would be easier to point. If I make one big pie, I am going to have to weigh it when I dish it out, so I thought this would be so much easier to point. Then I stretched out that light puff pastry as far as I could on my side. Mine's the one on the left, and I used 60 grams of that, and I just gave it a good stretch and it covered the top. My husband's next to it, he did have a little bit extra pastry, but mine 60 grams. Then I moved on to the sweet potato stew. Now this was a knockout, honestly so good this. I have now eaten this, so good. Really, really tasty. I've looked forward to this. This is me being an absolute fool, getting brine everywhere and using the pepper as my beating heart. Be still, my beating heart. So those sweet potatoes and those peppers go into that pan with a tin of chopped tomatoes and 600 ml of water. Give that a good stir, and then I started to add my other ingredients. I didn't have any fresh garlic in, so I popped 2 heaped teaspoons of ready chopped garlic, the lazy garlic, and 4 teaspoons of the miso paste that gives it that nice umami flavour. Is that how you say it? Umami? Unami? Umami? Then a couple of teaspoons of hot chili powder. Now you could just reduce that if you don't like it too spicy, or have a medium chili powder, whatever you fancy. Halfway through now. I just thought, actually, I haven't mentioned, I've done my highlighter. What do you think? Don't say if you don't like it. I don't know what I'm asking for. You say, no, it's bloody awful. Yeah, I don't really want to hear that. I know I've got D on in the background. I need to turn D off. I'll just go turn dish with D off. 1 second. Yeah, to be fair, I'm not overly keen because I want it to be blonde. I want it to be fully blonde, and I don't like to wait. I'm impatient. Oh gosh, my neck's a bit of a different colour, isn't it, to my face? Yeah. I'm looking forward to it's fully blonde, and it's still transitioning at the minute. On to pie 2. 2 pie day, my favourite kind of day. So these are Heck chicken sausages that I used. Now these work out for 10 sausages, 8 points. If you want to save those 8 points, I didn't have any chicken breasts in, but if you want to save those 8 points, just sub out for chicken breasts. I roughly chopped a pack of mushrooms, and I poured some of the frozen sweet corn into a ramekin to defrost, and then I made up stock. Now I made up 600 ml of stock. I recommend 250 to 300 ml of stock. My sauce was a little bit too runny. Here I'm putting in a tub of fat-free cottage cheese into my blender. I've then blended that with the stock and popped it onto the hob in a pan and added 2 tablespoons of corn flour. Then I've popped all my ingredients into a casserole dish and poured the beautiful sauce over the top. I was eking out this pastry as well. This pastry, I had to get that on. That is light puff pastry, and I used 200 grams. I had to stretch that quite a lot. Now even I can't eat 2 pies in a day, so I wrapped this one up and popped it in the freezer for later in the week. This pie serves 6, and the Weight Watchers points are 7 points per serving. I'm just showing you the consistency of the sauce. I made a mistake, guys. Don't make the same mistake I made. My sauce was too wet for the chicken and mushroom pie. Do not add 600 millilitres of stock. Don't be left with a sloppy pie like I will have to eat. It looks absolutely delicious. I'm still going to eat it. I can't wait. It's going in the freezer now. It's coming out at the end of the week. I'll be eating that pie. Whoo! And I tasted the sauce and it was tasty. Chicken sausages, the mushrooms, the pastry. I'm all into that. However, it's going to be a little bit soggy because the sauce was just too thin. So add the 2 tablespoons of corn flour for sure, but only add 250 ml of stock. That is my advice. Don't make the same mistakes I made. After that very real warning there, we're back to the sweet potato stew. So I added a bag of spinach to the stew. and a tub of this quinoa. Again, it was something that I had in. I'd got it in a subscription box, so I wanted to use it. You could stir in chickpeas, beans, anything you would like. You wouldn't have to point it then. This worked out at 3 points per portion, still even with the ready-made quinoa. You could just put in dried quinoa and just cook it a little bit. The quinoa did add a really nice texture. There always looks to be lots and lots of spinach, doesn't there? But it does definitely sweat down to very little. That's the quinoa going in, and I did liberally season, so lots of salt and pepper. Here is the finished stew. It actually looks nicer in real life than it does on this camera. It looks a bit glistening on the camera, but it is absolutely divine. I've had a taste of it. It is salty and smoky and hot with the chili powder. It's got the quinoa in there, lots of good veggies. And if you like sweet potato and you're okay with peppers and tomatoes, give this a whirl because it tastes so good. I know you think, oh no, the flavours are really complex and delicious. Just sweet and smoky and hot. It's a good shout. And if you don't like spinach, like my sister, if you're watching this, Claire, take the spinach out. Take the spinach out, still make it. It is yummy. And that is 3 points per portion. And I've got 4 portions in there. It's quite a deep dish. You could have it with a little mini naan bread as well. That'd be good. You could have it topped with a little bit of yogurt because it is quite spicy. All good options. Yum, 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 yum. That is 12 points. Delicious. Cheesy goodness. Hello, so I realised I hadn't signed off this vlog this week. The meal prep of pies. What a week of pies. I could live off pie all the time, I think. I do like a pie. So I hope you're all okay. I have had some lovely, lovely comments. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You're so precious and lovely. Thank you so much. And if there's anything you'd like to know, pop it down below. And I love talking to you guys, so please do. Tonight, me and Paul are going to a murder mystery. I love a murder mystery. I never guess who's done it. This one's a musical one. So you go, you get food and drinks and you watch them act it out. Somebody obviously dies. There's musical as well, it's quite light-hearted. They sing a bit and then you guess who it is, and they go to table and guess who the murderer, and you have to question them as suspects, and then you try and find out who that murderer is, and sometimes there's a prize. I was actually once in a murder mystery. I played a character called Cortina Net. It was one of the most terrifying experiences of my entire life. It's because it's all ad-lib and I'm not very good at that. These videos are heavily edited. So yeah, you've got to go around and just make things up on the spot, and they would grill you and you had to... do you know what? I think I was the actual murderer as well. Anyway, so we're going out and doing that tonight. So we're going to have a lovely night, and I hope you're all having a good time. And let me know anything down below, like I say, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.